2022 Volkswagen Lamando L debuts in China as stylish liftback. After Ford introduced the new Mondeo in China yesterday, another major automaker is presenting a product destined to be sold in the People's Republic. In case you're unfamiliar with the Lamando, it's essentially a CN-spec Jetta sold by the local SAIC-VW joint venture since 2014. The compact sedan is evolving into a more attractive and practical vehicle for this sleek liftback with matrix LED headlights reminding us of the ID. Electric models. In other words, the Lamando L and Jetta have the same relationship as the bigger Passat and Arteon. At 4,784 mm, 188 inches, long, 1,831 mm, 72 in, wide, and 1,469 mm, 57.8 in, tall. The car is substantially larger than the Lamando 3-box sedan and has a more generous wheelbase stretching at 2,731 mm, 107.5 in. Despite the larger footprint, it still remains smaller than the Arteon in all dimensions. While the regular sedan is based on the MQB platform, its cooler cousin with frameless windows sits on the updated MQB Evo architecture introduced by the VW Group in 2019 for the latest Golf, Octavia, A3, Leon, and China's Talagon full-size SUV. Even though in Europe the lesser-powered compact cars sold by the German conglomerate are stuck with a torsion beam rear suspension, the Lamando L gets a multi-link setup as standard. The sleek liftback with its somewhat devilish face rides on wheels up to 18 inches in size and is the latest model to adopt LED light bars at both the front and rear. The VW logo appears to be illuminated in white at the front and in red for the rear, where the taillights might remind you of the Arteon rivaling Peugeot 508. Overall, dare we say it's one of the nicest designs we've seen in years from the VW core brand. Stepping inside the cabin, the dashboard design sends out a strong Golf MK8 vibe, albeit there are some changes to the central air vents and the very few buttons. The Lamando L comes nicely equipped with a Beats sound system, head-up display, sunroof, shift-by-wire DSG switch, electric front seats, and adaptive cruise control. In the back, there are dual air vents, a central armrest with 2 cup holders, and a pair of USB ports. Power is provided by the familiar 1.4-liter TSI engine with 150 horsepower and 250 Nm, 183 pound-feet, of torque channeled to the front axle through a 7-speed, dual-clutch automatic transmission. The 2022 VW Lamando L hits 62 miles per hour, 100 kilometers per hour, from a standstill in 8.5 seconds, which isn't great, but not terrible either. A more potent 2.0 TSI could follow later in the car's lifecycle. Meanwhile, VW SAIC will have the car on sale in China this spring, and you can still buy the standard Lamando. The Volkswagen Lamando L is the result of the SAIC-VW joint venture. It's a completely different model from the standard Lamando, which has a more upright and conventional 3-box silhouette. As a matter of fact, the Lamando L shares a lot of design cues with the Arteon 4-door coupe, which is called the CC in China. This includes the liftback profile, its frameless doors, and powered rear hatch. The overall design is sleek and sporty, with its squinty matrix LED headlights that are connected by an LED strip as seen in the brand's latest range of vehicles. There's also a clamshell hood that reduces the number of panel gaps, as well as an aggressive lower air intake that's similar to what's found in Volkswagen's ID range of electric vehicles such as the ID.4. The bodylines of the Volkswagen Lamando L follow a curvaceous theme that complements the car's curvaceous roof, while the rear end has pronounced shoulders and also full-width LED taillights. Moving inside, you'll see the same twin-screen layout that made its debut in the Golf MK8. This consists of a 10-inch digital gauge cluster and a 12-inch touchscreen. The dashboard itself also looks very similar to the Golf, which can be both a good and a bad thing due to the minimalist design, but the lack of any physical controls. As for features, there's an ambient LED lighting system, a Beats audio system, a heads-up display, power-adjustable front seats, a tiny electronic gear selector, a sunroof, and also IQ Drive L2, which is a Level 2 autonomous suite of driver aids that consists of a full-speed radar cruise control, lane centering, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, automatic emergency braking, just to name a few. For now, only one powertrain option is being offered for the Lamando L, and that's a 1.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder gasoline engine that produces 148 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. This is mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic, driving the front wheels. Sales of the new Volkswagen Lamando L will commence this year in China, with pricing to be announced closer to its retail launch. Though a number of SAIC-VW vehicles have already reached the Philippines, it is still unknown if these vehicles will be exported outside China.